friends. I am so excited to be with you today for this week's episode of Women Wired to Win. My name is Susan and I am your host. And I have to tell you, we are talking about a topic today that I am super passionate about. And, after coaching thousands of students and entrepreneurs, hopping on calls with women just like you, one of the biggest things I have people say to me all the time when I ask them, what is one of the biggest challenges that you have, that prevents you from getting to the next level in your business? And I have to say, by far, most of the time, people tell me the same thing over and over again. And that is, Susan, it's time management. It's time, right? So I do have a very special guest with me today that I'm going to bring on. This is one of my dearest friends, besties. She was a top performer, is a top performer in direct sales, has been for over 10 years. And let me tell you something. This woman understands time management. And she and I are both really passionate in this area. So I'd love to bring her on with me right now. And we're going to discuss this topic of how can you really find success and win in your business, by using some key strategies to really help you maximize your time, because that's what we're talking about today. And so I'd love for you guys, if you're here today and you're watching, give us some hearts, give us some thumbs up for my friend, Alli Adkins. And so I'm going to bring her on right now. And guys, if you're watching, this is your first time watching, just do me a favor, drop a number 1. If you've watched before, drop a number 2. Welcome, Alli, to the show. I'm so excited to have you here with me today. And, I'd love for you. Hey, hi. I'd love for you just to share a little about yourself with our audience. Tell them a little about you. And
I know. So when you said that, I was actually like, yeah, I've actually been, building business since I was 19. So been in and out of being an entrepreneur for almost my entire adult life. And so I've done it through a lot of different seasons. So I currently am married for 16 years to my husband, and he's an athletic director and coach. So he has a very busy, full schedule himself with his job. And then we have our 2 girls that are now 13 and 11. I don't know how that is possible. Middle schoolers. And so they keep me running too. And then, I have my business that I'm building. So, very busy, full life, but, time management, like you said, is super important to being able to navigate all those arenas that we as women get to be a part of, right?
absolutely. And Alli and I have worked together for over 10 years in some capacity. And one of the things, like I said, that we both are really passionate about is, oh my gosh, we don't like to waste our time. That's for sure. We want to be efficient and we want to maximize our time. And so I'm just curious, Alli, I know that we wanted to kind of go over some things today that might be helpful to entrepreneurs, whether they're just getting started, whether they've been in business for a while, maybe they just can't quite get over that hurdle. Again, for a lot of people, it's not necessarily, because there's a lot of women that work full-time, work part-time, but maybe they're also building a business or a side hustle and they're feeling frustrated because their mom, their wife, they're doing all those things. And so I'm curious to know, like, what would you say are the top 3 time management strategies that have worked for you as you've been building your businesses over the years?
Right. Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. So we all have the same 24 hours in a day, right? So we get to choose how we use those. So I think it's really important, to plan your work. One of the
Sorry,
things.
go ahead. Go ahead, Alli. I'm so sorry. Go ahead. Plan your work.
Yeah, plan your work and work your plan, right? And so if you've been with Susan and I or following us for a while, you know that we love this little sheet and we made it really pretty. So it's your weekly plan sheet. And then I love color coding, right? So even if you are working another 9-to-5 job, another 8-to-5 job, you still have a lot of time in your day that you can build your business and build your brand. So, I like to color code. Orange is like me, happy time, my workout, my quiet time. I love to do that first thing in the morning. So just, finding a schedule that works for you and your family. Finding those pockets of time that you can sprinkle your business in and work your business. So, one of the things that I get up 5:30 every morning. My husband and I walk the dog for a mile. That's like our time that we can connect and, talk through everything. Cause like I said, he has a very busy schedule. I come back. I think it's really important, to have our quiet time and get in the word. And so I try to do that as well. And like I said, some days go seamlessly. Other days, I might not get to that quiet time till I actually get the girls out the door and the house is quiet, right? So sometimes it happens before they leave. Sometimes it happens after. And then, just finding a schedule that works for you and your family. So, what works for me today probably wouldn't have been the same that worked for me last year, 3 years ago, 5 years ago. When I started, really building my business and not wanting to work for somebody else, my girls were very little, like 1 and 3. So it looked a lot different what I do now compared to what I did then. But I still found those times that I could work, whether it was when the kids were napping, Saturday afternoon, some, family member took them, working on your lunch break, going and sitting in your car. If you have an hour for lunch, like, you don't have to sit in your break room, and be a part of that gossip sesh. Just, I would go sit in my car and get work done on my phone in the car. Now, I get a lot done in the car pickup line. It's amazing how much work you can get done in the car pickup line. Like, some of my best work happens, like your best ideas come to you in the shower, right? The best work sometimes happens in that car pickup line. So that's my first tip, is just, having that weekly plan sheet to see, and each week is going to be different, right? Based on what your family has going on. So one Saturday morning, you might have time to work, and then another week, you might have to make it a weeknight that you're finding time for your business. And then my second tip is to eat your frog first. So I had a friend that told me that, and I was like, that's hilarious, and I love it. And so now my mom and I actually do that all the time. We talk in the morning. I'm like, and it just means, my husband was like, this morning, he's like, what are you going to talk about in there? I'm going to tell them eat their frog. And he's like, what is a frog? And I was like, it's the gross thing that you don't want to do. Most of the time, it's the most important thing that you need to do that you are like avoiding to do at all cost, right? So I always try to eat my frog first. So whatever that activity is for your business on your to-do list, do the one that you don't want to do the most, do that one first, because then everything else will be fun and more enjoyable, right? So whatever you dread and don't want to do, number one, it's probably the thing that's going to move your business the furthest. But second, if you get it out of the way, then you're going to enjoy, the rest of your day. So that's my second tip, and just working in those small pockets of time. And then my third tip, I used to do this all the time, was just to make a game out of it. Okay. So whatever it is, if you have to make so many phone calls or so many approaches or reach out to so many clients, however many, do you need to do 10? Do you need to do 30? And just make it a game, set a goal to do X number or obtain that number of leads. And you have to do it by, let's say, noon, by lunchtime. And I'd be like, okay, well, you can't eat your lunch till you get that, hit that number. Or if I would be out doing things to get leads, be like, okay, well, if you get so many, then you can go grab yourself a Starbucks, right? So just make a game out of it. And it kind of creates that sense of urgency, right? And you get it done faster rather than putting it off.
Yeah, a couple things there too, Alli. Obviously, it sounds like the other thing is like, well, here's a big one. I talked to a lot of people that would say, oh my gosh, I'm so ADHD, right? Like, I'm ADD and I have a hard time focusing. And so I think for that type of brain, because my brain can be a little bit all over the place, like squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. So it's almost when you make a game out of it, right? And a lot of times, especially if your brain is wired that way and you're more like ADD, making a game out of it, giving yourself a task, and like even like timing yourself, right? Or the other thing is, if you're somebody that's like rewards or gifts, incentive, like if that's something that you'll work for. I know for myself, thinking back years ago when I was working toward being in a leadership position, as you said, there's things that we have to do and we have to make time for those things. But it's almost like rewarding ourselves for the effort. And so not allowing yourself things. And I always used to say, attaching your business to a goal, right? Even if you had the means in which to get that thing, don't allow it to yourself until you accomplish that thing that you've set the goal to do. And part of that is, as you shared, being very intentional with your time. So much like you, Alli, I'm a girl mom as well, 4, right? And so I was a homeschool mama. My husband worked swing shifts at the time. And I was also running a business. And so, when we talk about these things, it's because we've done them and we understand like the struggles, right? And the things that people go through. So I love everything you shared there. And when you said frog, all I'm thinking is fully rely on God, right?
No, it's the gross thing you don't want to do.
Yeah, right. No, right. We need to do that too. But I love it. It's so true.
Yeah. Even so with that, like my youngest,
Yeah.
she was with me. I was able to leave, come home and work from home when she was very little. And so she would just,
Yeah.
don't let that be an excuse
Yep.
for the moms with littles out there, because,
Mhm.
I'm so thankful that I was able to do that and be there. And now I don't have to miss a thing with my girls now,
Yeah.
in even in middle school. But I would
Yeah.
take her with me, and she would go on errands with me and do my business outings with me. And I involved her in it. If mommy got this done, then we could go get a Dunkin' Donuts. So she was all
Right.
about it. So just involving your kids and your family in your business definitely is very important and helps them feel like they
Yeah.
have a place to win as well.
Yeah, one of the things I will say about Allie is, and I again, huge component of success. The thing that really sets people apart that have success from those that don't is being very intentional. So it's about planning your work and working your plan. And I can remember
Mhm.
being at leadership events with Allie, and one of the things that one of our mentors used to say is like, for example, if you had a party that canceled, well, guess what? And this is what I used to teach my team. You have a party that cancels. Well, guess what? You still had that time allotted to
Right.
work your business. So
Right.
work your business, right? And that's one of the things I remember hearing you all the time. You'd pull over on the side of the road or pull over to grab a coffee and you'd sit in your car and you'd send out, like, shoot out the 100 texts or whatever, right? Because you
Right.
want it to be productive time. And so that's one of the things that even, building my businesses in the past is that being very intentional. I'm very intentional. You can ask anybody in my life, very intentional with my time. And so again, it's that weekly plan sheet. And so my husband cracks up because he's always like, if I say, like, he's a little bit more spur of the moment, and I can be spontaneous, but I get a little flustered because I'll be like, well, that wasn't in my plan. And he's always like,
Right.
okay,
Right.
Susan. Okay. So, obviously we don't want to be extremes, but I think that there is something to be said because it does discipline you to learn that you need to plan that work. Is so important. And yeah, I'm going to share a little something with that here at the end because we are talking about time management. I want to share a little something how you can get in touch with Allie, but also another tool that can help you with time management that I've put together specifically for those that are in direct sales and network marketing. So make sure you stay on to the end. Allie, so yes, I'd love to hear you a little bit more from you today. Which brings us, which I lost my list here. Question. Second thing I want to ask you is, and we probably talked a little bit about this, but how do you prioritize tasks when juggling business responsibilities and families? We have a lot of listeners out there that are just like you and me, right? We're all in different seasons of life. I've been through every single season. Actually, never could say that went through building my business as a single, but definitely as a mom of small children, of middle-aged children, and now of adults, and now grandkids. So, what would you say? How do you prioritize those tasks and your responsibilities?
Right. So, I think it's really important to know what your goal is, right? Where it is that you want to be. And that kind of really helps prioritize tasks, right? So, when I
Mhm.
was working to work for myself and not for somebody else, I was working a full-time job and I was trying to build a business. And so, you have to ask yourself, is this what I'm being asked bringing me closer to my goal or not, right? And so for
Mhm.
that short time where I had to really laser focus on building my business and getting to the position that I needed to get myself to for our family, I had to say no a lot, right? Because
Mhm.
when you say yes to one thing, you are inevitably saying no to something else. And so if it's not helping to build your business and your dream and your goals for your family, I had to say no to it for that short time. And so
Mhm.
just, looking at also, if it doesn't bring you joy and it doesn't bring you income, like, why are you doing it? Okay. Especially, I meant to mention earlier too, Susan, especially because it's October 16th, guys. We are
Yeah.
heading into the busiest season as mothers and business owners, right? Because people are shopping, we have holidays coming up. So really encouraging you, to take out that planner, not just your weekly plan sheet, but your calendar, right? And look at the
Mhm.
next 90 days till the end of this year and heading into 2025. We know when the Christmas concerts are. We know when the
Mhm.
Christmas parades are. Christmas and Thanksgiving are just one day out of the year, okay?
Yeah,
It
right.
doesn't have to be this all-consuming thing that, oh my gosh, I can't work my business now until the new year because it's Thanksgiving and then it's Christmas. There's plenty of time to work your business between now and 2025 and to position yourself to be set up for the new year. So finish this year really strong so that you are in a better position to start the new year rather than being behind, right? So I made that a top priority as well this past, since I've had the girls, really focusing on especially around the holidays, like, what do I absolutely want to do with my girls, with our family? What are we attending? Where am I going to work my business? I don't really stop, but at the same time, I try and get everything done too before the girls and my husband are on Christmas break, because when they're home, I want to be home with them, right? It's the holidays. So just making sure that I front load my month, that I'm prepared for family events, the gift giving. I started picking up gifts. Like, guys, when you go out to the grocery store, just pick up a gift while you're out. Like, that was a thing that hit me last year. I was tired of running around the few days heading into Christmas, like my husband be like, oh, I need a Christmas gift for this person. I need a Christmas gift for this person. It just cuts into your day and it cuts into your time with your family. So just, especially heading into the holidays, just being prepared. You have to be a little bit even more prepared with the holiday season. So
absolutely. So it's like, basically, in essence, again, this is when like planning becomes so very important, and being very intentional and being proactive, not reactive, is what I'm hearing you say. Because as you said, there's no surprises. We know when Thanksgiving is. We know when Christmas is. And now listen, we are speaking specifically to the entrepreneur and the direct seller, okay? Because a lot of times, especially as leaders in the network marketing field, we hear it all the time, right? Again, it's the time thing. And it's like, well, you know what? If you have an intentional plan, and as Alli said, when we say no to some things now, we can say yes to better things later, because we can only give so much of our time in so many different places. So being proactive, not reactive. And one of the things we used to hear a lot, and I would teach my team, Alli, both of us, is, do you want to be making money or do you want to be spending money, right? We want to be making money. So we want to be very intentional. And if you can get all of your holiday shopping done early, do it, right? Get it done now. Because especially if you're in the direct sales world, this is your bread and butter season of the year. And so you really want to maximize your time by getting all the things done, as Alli said, while you're living life. Just get it done. If you're out and about, grab the things that you need now so that you can be more intentional with really providing that income for your family that you might be needing. I know Alli and I both were huge about making our Christmases debt-free every year. And for 18 years, in my most recent direct sales company, I had a debt-free Christmas every single year. But a lot of that is by good planning and preparing, and also setting a budget, which is something I'm super passionate about, which I will talk about another week. But it's important. Our money management is very important. Okay, but thank you for sharing that, Alli.
Yeah.
And what do you say? Yeah, what are maybe some common time management challenges that you personally face, and how do you overcome them?
Yeah. So like I mentioned, things don't always go as planned. So I don't know about anybody else, but you can have this super pretty plan sheet and your week all planned out. And, you get a phone call midweek that your kid has strep, you got to come pick them up right now. They can't be at school. They've got a fever. The husband needs an errand ran, and, I have a flexible schedule, so I can go do that. Right. So just, being able to know that it's not going to always go as planned, and just not letting that derail you, because it doesn't have to be perfect, right? Having a plan is great, but things are going to come along in the road that are going to, might derail you a little bit for the day, or a half hour or an hour from that, and just being able to pivot. And I think that's another reason why getting those top things done on your priority list, eating the frog and doing those things first at the beginning of your day or the beginning of the week. If you do have hiccups throughout your week and day, you're able to still have a successful week. And, other challenges, time management. I know we talked about this in our Bible study today or this week, is, distractions, honestly, right? Like, that is a huge time management challenge. This thing right here, right, that we all work our business from, it is a huge distraction. So I've learned to turn off all my notifications, like my text, my phone stays on silent, but still somehow you can get like a Voxer notification. And that notification, I think, is the most annoying sound. I don't know why they have it that sound, but it's terrible. So just learning, you can silent individual people in your text messages. You can silent all of them.
Mhm.
Just silencing your notifications so you're not, if you're like me, like you're a squirrel, you're not constantly distracted. And you can set time limits up on your different social media apps as well. So like on Instagram, I have a time limit and it'll be like, you've reached your time limit for today. And then you're like, do you want 5 more minutes? Ignore the limit, so so
Yeah.
just, being mindful of those things. And we do know, a lot of our business is done through our phone now and on social
Mhm.
media. So
Mhm.
just being mindful of what you're actually doing on your phone. So scheduling your content, going in, Sunday night and scheduling your content for the week. So you're not having
Mhm.
to do that again reactively every day, like, oh, it's Monday, I didn't post my motivational post for today. So just being aware, giving yourself some time to schedule your content out, and so that you're not distracted throughout the week.
Yeah, and the other thing with that one, because Allie knows this, I'm a big systems person because again, time is money, and I think that Allie and I think very much the same way. We're very much alike. I think that's why we've gotten along so well over the years. We've worked so well together. So I'm a huge believer in having systems in place because again, it saves you time. You can be working on income producing activities. Not that there's some things in our business that are necessary, but they don't maybe make us money. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yes, the content we create, yes, it does, but it also takes us away from being with people, right? Which is where we're really able to close sales or add women to our team and those kind of things. So if you maybe want to look into it, and I know that a lot of rules have changed with social media platforms and like posting services and that kind of thing, but I know that there are some ways around that. So whether you're scheduling out your content or you're using a posting service, for
Mhm.
some of those, like if you have a team, for example, and you have a team Facebook group and there's certain posts that you need to send out every week, just have them done on automation. So that
Mhm.
way you're not having to stop in your day or in your week to reschedule that if it's a recurring thing. Okay. And maybe I'll go live another day and explain all that to you. But very good stuff, Allie, for sure. Totally, totally. So true. This is a big, huge distraction for me. We were just talking about this the other day. For all of us, I think, really. Okay. Allie, what advice would you give to a female entrepreneur? Maybe that's struggling to manage their time effectively. I mean, obviously, I would imagine it's baby steps, but what would you say to her if she's struggling to really manage her time?
Yeah, just break it down, like make it bite-sized pieces, right? So master one skill at a time, right? Don't try and take on, it's like when you try to quit a habit, start a workout, drop 20 pounds, and, run a half marathon all on the same thing. Like it's too much, right? So
Mhm.
take one tip from today and implement it for a week or two, so whether it be the weekly plan sheet or a monthly plan sheet, or just writing out the next goal that you want to make in your business, and then breaking down the activity that's required to meet that goal, right? Because when we try and implement too many changes and habits, it can get overwhelming, and you're just going to give up on all of them, regardless of if it's your business, your health, mental, emotional, any of that. If you try to start too many new habits all at once, it's going to be too overwhelming. So just take one tip or one little thing that you can tweak and try it for a week or two. And then once you've mastered that, then add another time management thing into your systems. And then, before you know it, it will really turn your business around in 90 days for sure.
Oh my gosh, I love it. That's awesome. So good. So good. And guys, by the way, if you're happen to be tuning in live today or you're watching this in replay, if you've got questions, please feel free to drop them right in the comments and we will certainly do our best to try and answer those for you. If not live, then we will do it. Certainly, we'll make sure that we get back to you on that. Yeah. So, Allie, this is a really big one because a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we can get so super focused, right? Especially if you're a type A personality, you're a high D personality, you want to get the job done, you want to get things done, you got big goals that you're working on. Sometimes we forget to take care of ourselves. Would you agree? And
Yes.
so, how how do you incorporate? I mean, we're talking about time, right? How do you
Right.
incorporate, self care into your schedule, especially if you're busy?
Right. So, like you saw on my plan sheet, like my first thing in the morning is like my me time, right? So whether you do your miracle morning or whatever it is, self-care is so important, making sure that we're taking good care of our bodies, right? So one of my favorite quotes recently, right, is if we don't take time for our wellness, you're going to be forced to take time for your illness, right? Because
Yeah.
we only get this one body. And so, I don't know about anybody else. Like 2020 felt I use that excuse. We're at home. I've packed on the pounds. So now, that was 4 years ago. Like, why am I still using that as an excuse? Right. So just making sure that I'm getting up in the morning, I'm exercising, working out, fueling my body with, protein and the healthy things. We know the right things to do, right? It's
Yeah.
implementing them and making the time to do it. And I don't always feel like doing it. I mean, I'm not a morning person. I've become a morning person, but it's not my favorite.
Yeah.
Just climbing on the Peloton or getting the kettlebells out, just moving my body and, doing things for yourself. So, whether you do my girls are tweens, so, they're always down for, a spa night at home, doing the masks or the skincare. I do like to get my nails done. It just makes me feel more put together. So, just making time for that, and you can find time to sprinkle that into your week as well. So.
Yeah, and there's something to be said about that. I mean, truly, just taking that little bit of time just gives you that, like for you, it might be getting your nails done, right? It makes you just, it kind of refreshes you, revives you, even if it's just giving yourself, a deep cleansing facial once a week at home. Doesn't have to be anywhere like lush spa place. Um, but it's the truth because, Allie, again, has been with me for quite a while. And, back in I guess it was 2018, 2017, 2018, for a couple of years in there, again, I was so driven by goals. And guys, there's things that we do sometimes we look back, we're like, man, was it worth it? Right. And so those few years going back to like 2016, 17, 18 was a really hard time, right? Physically for me. And I remember putting some health issues on the back burner. And this is kind of one of those areas where you really need to be proactive, as Allie said. And say that again. Allie, what did you say about if you don't focus on
If you
your
don't
health,
take
you'll be
time
forced to
for your
focus on your
wellness,
illness?
yeah,
Wellness, yeah.
you'll be forced to make time for your illness.
Right. And so good news is that even though I had to take some time off of my business back in 2018, the good news is that I did have those systems put in place. So one of the things that we learned was work when you can. So that way, when you can't, the systems that you put in place will continue to work for you.
Mm-hmm.
However, if I had taken better care of myself leading up to that moment, there was a couple like other things that I had been working on that probably I would have been able to finish those things had I taken a little bit better care of myself. So important, guys, no matter what your goals are. And a lot of us, especially in this entrepreneurial space and in direct sales, like we're really big thinkers and we're very driven, right? And we're usually super goal oriented. And so sometimes we just need to learn that we've got to take part of that time management is taking time for ourselves. And so, Allie, I love everything that you shared today. And there's a couple of other things I wanted to share with the girls real quick if I can find it. And I do want to get you guys connected to Allie as well. Because part of that, since we ended with self-care, I know that Allie is super passionate about health and wellness. She's kind of building an online brand around that health and wellness. And so I'd love to invite you, if you're not a part of her community, I'm going to have her drop it in the comments for you guys. If you want to be a part of her Facebook community, I know that she has some really amazing health and wellness products that you guys could connect with her to get. As well as, maybe you've got some other questions for her. If you want to pick her brain for time management. And the other thing is, and I'm going to see if I can grab it here real quick, guys. Hold on. Well, a couple things. If you are one of our friends and you are in the direct selling space, you're an entrepreneur network marketer, and you need a really good planner. I have actually the 3rd edition's getting ready to launch here, and I've updated it a little bit. But I do try to put on here, we were talking about your weekly plan sheet. You can divide it out, whether it's weekly, monthly, daily. I love this one that I created. It gives you your daily schedule, but it also gives you like for example, every day thinking about those important things like daily mental bath. Like, did you, read the Bible or a book of it or inspiration, affirmations, trainings. Hello. I've actually added some things into the new planner that help you to track your water intake for the day, helps you track your how many hours of sleep have you had, because we have to remember that self-care is so important. And I also has a list of just self-care. It's a self-care checklist. So it's like, for example, when you wake up, did I wash my face? Did I exercise? Did I organize one room of my house? Did I make my bed? Guys, there's something about this. I heard this a long time ago, but just making your bed be the very first thing you do when you get up in the morning, like literally, I've been doing that for probably 10 years now. And if there's something about that, it just kind of starts your day off in the right way. But anyway, so if you're interested or you would like to grab a copy of the Direct Sellers Ultimate Planner, just drop planner in the comments and I can send you the link for that. And Alli, I think she was going to drop the link to her her group as well. And any closing thoughts that you'd like to share with the girls before we let you go today, Alli?
No, just thank you for having me on. And yeah, if you're overwhelmed with your time management, like I said, don't try and tackle everything we talked about here today at once. Just pick your top thing. Like you're like, oh, I could make that one tweak. Whatever one was your favorite, just do that one tweak here this week and, see how it goes a week from now and see if you feel like you could add another one. So it's just stacking those good habits to replace the bad ones.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you, Alli. Oh my gosh, this was so amazing.
Thank
Like, I feel like
you.
you and I could talk forever, all day long, every day about so many different topics. And I'm sure we'll have Alli back just because we love working together and lots of great stuff to share. But thank you. I know your schedule is busy. So thanks for hopping on with me today.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome. And so that is it for today, guys. And we will see you for our next episode of Women Wired to Win. Have an absolutely incredible week. And we'll see you guys again real soon.
Bye.
Bye.